home brings. All right, thank you for joining us. Okay. So this has come up in, you can say, round table discussions, or the think tank, spiritual think tank. That's been done behind the scenes. And so the Demiurge has come up. At least it's one way of putting it. Of course, that's like the god of the Bible, basically. It's like the demonic energy that's suppressing society and everything, and causing floods and everything. Like, well, just like a parasite with a mind of a child, basically. So how to describe? I mean, I've already done channelings on this. I'm not going to channel its energy. I've dealt with it enough. But basically, obviously the demonic beings here are usually very arrogant. They want to make this world think it's like the worst planet in the universe. Obviously, don't play nicely because we can't see them. But obviously, they interact with many lives. And even those in the spiritual community would come off very arrogant. And that can be, not always, can be a Demiurge attachment, or just a demonic attachment. But, or they're just arrogant. But the Demiurge, is like a feline lion being that's a serpent, or connected to a worm being, basically connected to the reptile energy. So it's basically like king of this universe. Of course, everyone has their different points of view, and that's fine, but still a parasitic being. And obviously, we come here on our to learn from it. We shut down our brains or common sense, or maybe some beings don't have any common sense, and just learn through its energy. But the only way for this world to really evolve into the higher dimensions is to become more aware of this thing, flesh it out, and all its little minions that's connected to it, which is billions. So, but the beings here, they want to keep thinking, everyone think that they're smarter than everybody, even when they really aren't. But they're going to do everything in their power to make you think that. Well, there's so many of them too. I mean, they can be a decayed energy. Yeah, that's why they're ruining everything here as much as they can. Of course, other people just love the way that things are, and more power to on that one. So I guess they're not being tested enough. But the Demiurge, of course, some want to worship it, sell their souls to it, become celebrities or popular or whatever it is, or they just need something to do with themselves, whatever it might be. So tap into more. Oh, she doesn't turn on the background and change. I'll move things around. Hopefully she doesn't. There it goes. A little head popped up. Uh-oh. That doesn't mean turn on the background. I moved it so she doesn't do it. Yeah, go away. Yeah. Yes. The Demiurge energy, and like the demonic realms, they keep some people don't feel like they're accepted in the higher dimensions. So they come here to, I don't know what she's doing. All right, I'll be back. I thought she was sleeping. Now she's awake to terrorize everything. But you don't. Terrorists. Yeah, go do your thing. Well, that might be the end of that. So anyway, so it's happened to get the astral point of view of it. And the Sirian, look at that. I give up. Yeah, she was sleeping. I started going. She starts tearing everything apart. So the idea is to get the astral point of view of the Worm King and the Sirian's point of view and anything else. I'm not going to challenge Demiurge. I've done in the past. It's just an arrogant parasite, a demonic energy. Thinks it's better than everybody. Thinks everyone should serve it. And I mean, we're learning from it. We're learning how arrogant it is. So, how mediocre it is. It's pretty mediocre too. That's the point. It's supposed to be a decayed being, and pretty much it is. And we have a lot of that here. So I don't know. I mean, most of humanity is not interested in this type of thing. So, but this is the spirit war, though. It doesn't matter what humanity wants, really. I mean, it doesn't matter. Just the idea is for these type of beings to become more known, and so there was power here, and we go into a more peaceful reality somehow. If people even want that in their lives, they might not always want it. There's chaos is their favorite thing. More power to you on that. It's supposed to be like this for the next million years or longer, forever. Sorry, we're going to. Oops. I haven't started comic prep sessions. Scheduler. We have a shop here. The webinar. Social network behind the scenes. And I closed out the ET Origins. That's done now. So, it's a sign of things to come. I think hopefully she's taking a break from tearing that up. So, going to the Demiurge energy. Of course, most of society doesn't believe in any of this. It doesn't really. Now, this is coming off as a nice. It's more like that, but I didn't want to put that in the thumbnail. But it's basically just a parasitic, know-it-all, snob being. Like I say, in the spiritual communities, you see that some of the channelers are very extremely arrogant, and they're probably linked into this sucker for sure, especially for wealth and prosperity and decay. Well, as long as it's a test. I mean, it's a game. Some people like the game, I guess, or I don't know. Some people here are so lost. They think they like it, but they don't know up from down or all around or anything like that. So, but this is one of the players right here. Obviously, there's several others. Of course, you have Sophia screwing around, Lilith screwing around. It's like a bunch of lost entities. So, Valley girls are same old. So yeah, the Demiurge energy, I always take your point of view, or if you even care. But basically, I mean, you see the reptilian energies around here. That's just part of just keeping us in prison here. That's part of it. Of course, not everybody's going to agree with that. So who knows? Who cares? Yeah, there's so much spiritual warfare going on so many different levels. So going to the astral energies, Sirians, and who else I can anything else other than the Demiurge, because I'm not going to go into that energy physically, so, or in any form of that. So if you're wondering what's the head of the beast, or one of the main, is a Demiurge frequency. So, I mean, some of us are, I felt it around me a while back. I haven't felt it ever since, but I definitely know it's out there. And like I said, it's very extremely arrogant, and just, it's going to keep, and like I said, there's a lot of people here that are like that too. So, I've had it even on my channel here in the webinar. I've had it, kick that energy out. I've had it in interviews with that, someone like that. It's very snob frequency. So spiritual snob. So all right, so going to astral energy is Sirius, and whoever else of assistance there. So all right, what's this? Greens, we are from the astral. Well, the Demiurge is you can say a lost entity, but yes, a lot of darkness that consumes souls. They're pulled into his frequency, and you can say it's a he or she, because it's mostly a he. But basically, it's like a black hole, but it's an entity. It pulls in souls that don't know themselves, can't figure themselves out, lost. It doesn't pull in everybody. It pulls in quite a bit. So it has an army, as you can see here on this planet. So kind of like it's mindless minion energy until those minions, have self-love, bring themselves out of it, snap out of it. So think of like it goes to this universe. Yes, it does pretty much own this universe. But then it sweeps through the universe and just grabs on whoever it can. It's kind of, it just makes it programs it to do its bidding. So it's everywhere. Doesn't mean that you've lost or anything like that, or you haven't lost anything. You get assistance from other universes. That's why many of you come here obviously don't remember it. Not to say this universe is completely consumed. There are places in this universe where it's less dense. Of course, this world is one of its crowning achievements. Basically, the beings that are doing this are not seen. And can you figure this out? Come here as a human and figure it out. Doesn't mean you have to figure out it's a Demiurge, yes, wizard being, but just to not just survive this reality, but not let all of its manipulations consume you. Because it hits you everything you got. It has, for the most part. And many just give up. Many, you'd be surprised how many get married. And it's like, okay, maybe this will be my lifeline. Or some, become rich. I think that's the end of it. And no, it'll come after you there too. It comes after you on all levels. So think like wealth is a way of feeling like I won. I'm out of this. And not necessarily because it comes after them, health-wise, whatever it might be. So you're going to learn from its energy. Now, sometimes when you fully understand it, maybe not fully understand it at all levels, but you know it exists, that can help you, give you some kind of advantage of identifying it when it's around. As it comes off as arrogant because it's had many wins, many achievements. So it's devastated other worlds or other universes, but we'll just say other worlds. And this one is its crowning achievement. Can you master its manipulation? Well, survive it, break through it, just see it for what it is. Like I say, you don't have to see a half human, half, lizard, lion creature, that only serves itself, because that's what it does. Well, why not? It has been kicked out of other universes, has been defeated many times. It's still very weak. That's why it needs all these souls to pack onto it to stay alive. So far, it's worked. Yeah, it's like a parasite being. Yes. It doesn't care either. Does it lack in talent? Yes. It doesn't care. As long as they can consume souls, which it does. Yes, those that commit suicide here, it grabs right onto them. No matter what people say, still grabs onto them. Still haunts them in some form. So many of you have encountered it on many different levels. I can go to all the details of it. It can come off as a dragon being, but a very arrogant one. And it has manipulated the feline frequencies, and once again, it comes off as an arrogant energy. So that's one way of seeing through its demeanor. Now, it might hide its arrogance to a certain level, but if you get that vibe from, so some people might channel a feline being or a reptilian being. Sometimes they are channeling the Demiurge frequency. It was one of its creations. So, and it's all a test. Once you're out of this world, you see all the pieces. You see all of how this is all engineered. But while you're here, the point is not to see any of it. To see portions of it, it's like a game. Eventually, there will be a game made of this to explain more of this reality, but it'll give away too much. So that's why there isn't really one. There's pieces of it here and there, but not really one that really describes how this is done. It's like a machine, basically. But many of you here bring channeled messages. You're connected to spirit, so you're giving little insights of how to win. It's kind of like gameplay. It's like you go through the game and you get some kind of token, and you get told to right, left, or given some kind of advice. Think of it that way to get you through this. Many are not taught this way for obvious reasons, because they call this a real life. And it is, and it isn't. I mean, some call it life and they want to live it to its, all its perks, but others realize this is a war zone, it's a battle. And you're not always going to get what you want, but at least you can keep your sanity while others lose it because they want to live the life of luxury and be manipulated by a system, even get devoured by it sometimes. Not always. So it's like you understand how the game is played. Some just sell themselves out, and it's just easier that way. As some of you have seen. But then they regret it. It's like an easy way, but not really. But that's part of the game. Well, some of them sell themselves out just to see how they can manipulate society, to see if you will wake up. The idea is to keep you not aware of what's happening here. Now, there's different versions of waking up. But basically, you become more of the entities that are here. Yes, are creatures, which many will not accept. They're just not there. But it is. It's all things. I mean, eventually these creatures will be seen here physically. Eventually. You see it through humans, though. Obviously, they don't have the best compassion for humans. So, yes, you see serial killers and all that. Some of those are minotaur beings. They do devour people. They're just here in human form, just doing what they do best. They don't care. Well, it's up for humanity to realize it. Eventually, they will. But still has a long haul, as you know. Greetings. This is Redmond from Sirius B. Blessings. So the Demiurge energy, it does affect every planet, but it doesn't always affect it, as it's affecting yours, obviously. Saturn, it does affect a great deal. Saturn goes into your frequency. Of course, Jupiter, Mars, but Saturn is probably the strongest one to bring in. A lot of energy is going to Saturn to manipulate your world. So it starts from Saturn and hits your planet. From an astral. So he's like, you take a Saturn world that's a gas planet, put all his manipulations into it, and you send it to Earth, energy-wise. Give you some idea of how it's affecting your realm. But as for the Demiurge, one of the reasons why it hasn't been completely pulled away from your planet, because as you can see, there's a lot of souls here that need to learn from its energy. A lot of them don't believe it exists. They feel like they know it all. That doesn't mean that they're always like a dark arrogance, but they're kind of arrogant. So they come to this planet and get defeated. It's a wake-up call. So when the universe no longer needs to be awakened, because so many souls become so complacent. They think even they incarnate here, they feel like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then you have another incarnation. Yes, what happened to Maui and Hawaii. They think that all is going to be well. Then all of a sudden you have, so it doesn't mean that it has to happen to everybody, but some souls need kind of an awakening within themselves. So it's just a harsh world. It's gotten harsher and a lot of the souls that thought they had it all figured out are now part of the demonic realms. Like they couldn't beat this place, so they joined it. As you say, those that sell out. Once again, yes, it is true that some souls do, sell themselves out just to manipulate society, just to be part of the game. But then yes, they go to the karma of it. Even they might even change their ways, like a celebrity. They might change their ways as a celebrity, possibly. It all depends. But they're playing a part in it to see what it feels like to do something like that. Yes, of course, it depends on the situation. Doesn't mean they always have to harm anyone, but they can manipulate the vibrations. It's like an actor in a play. I mean, basically, you're all actors in this reality. Obviously, you can't just get off stage. You go into sleep state. That's how you get off stage. But you're on stage, obviously, you're awake. It's not maybe the theater that you're looking for. But one of the main reasons why some of you go through the test that you do to learn to know what others are going through, to help them, to there's different reasons or just to know how it feels. There's different reasons for it. Or the clear karma to fix your own situation. Sometimes it's just to go through all these tests just to reconnect as a human, because many of you are not used to being human. Used to be in higher frequencies, and so when you incarnate here, everything hits you. So that's why so many continue to incarnate over and over again and try to keep it light. Sort of. We're not really going into details of that. Being kind of cryptic on that. So, but either way, you come here basically to know more about your soul. It's like you have one idea when you incarnate here, and then when you go through it and you come out, it's like, wow, I was way off. I thought I could figure this all out. I thought I could incarnate and do this in 5 seconds, and it took me forever, and I got everything wrong, and so on. So it's so many souls that incarnate figure they can outsmart this planet. Yes, they can crack it and crack the matrix, and it doesn't work. So that's just the way it is. So many of you are connecting more to your neutral self, healing the ego, which is helping. But there's a lot of those that aren't spiritually egoed in check. So that's why they go through the lessons that they go. It's like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And they're just not doing anything. Well, because they're working on themselves, which is good. But yeah, it's just the mind here is, as you can know, it can do. I mean, when you give the human more power here, yeah, it'll, in the past, humans were adapting a lot of the Demiurge frequency and just going on a self-destructive path. Basically, this world wouldn't be here right now. It would have been long gone in ancient times. Atlantean times, actually, even before that. So, but that's the human version. Well, because the human, you get into it, and then someone plays with it, and now it's out of control. It's not for everybody, but some just become psychotic. But many of you are healing that frequency, basically bringing more of the astral plane here to just basically, bring more subtleness here for it to calm down and figure itself out, or see, between the lines. There's much more to it than that. But in some ways, the Demiurge is kind of a blessing in disguise in some form. It's hard, but it's like I say, a lot of souls need it. Because they got so complacent. They had it all figured out. Then they come here and they're wrong. So not everybody's like that, but I think some of you can know who that is. And those that are probably hearing this, like, I don't know what you're talking about. So, and those that feel like they're arrogant, that's part of the lower frequency, the parasite frequencies. for them, they don't want to put a lot of work into upgrading themselves. They say they're upgraded in a dark way. They like that dark frequency. They just can't. They're like addicted to it. So,